Jesus said to her, Mary. She turned and said to him in Hebrew, Rabboni, which means teacher. I'm not going to be before you long on this Resurrection Sunday. I know somebody has Easter dinner still in the oven, so I'm not going to keep you too long, especially if you slip me an invitation to come after service. But for the time that I have to share with you this morning, I want us to consider this thought. But wait, there's more. But wait, there's more. As a mother with a baby who is not sleeping through the night, I am often awake at odd hours, 1, 2, sometimes 3 in the morning. My son, Andre Joshua, wakes up for his midnight feeding. He is typically adorable, but at midnight, not so much. He wakes up for his midnight feeding and has no problem going straight back to bed. But mommy, once I'm up, I'm up. It's very difficult to try to fall back to sleep. Now, what I have tried to do, Karen, is I have tried to make this time as productive as possible. Since I'm already up and the house is quiet, I figured I would get some things done. This would be a good time for me to get some reading done and some writing done. I tried it. And what I found is that reading and writing require a certain level of brain functionality that just ain't happening for me at 2 and 3 in the morning. So instead, I have resorted to late night TV scrolling because, that's really all my brain can handle at that time. Now, there really isn't any quality programming on at 3 o'clock in the morning, so on most nights, I'm either watching reruns of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or, don't judge me, infomercials. Now, most people think that infomercials are annoying and a huge waste of time, and that may be true, but you're not supposed to be judging me, though. However, I have developed an appreciation for infomercials. Over the past few months, I have watched enough infomercials to realize that every infomercial, it doesn't matter what product they are pushing, from Proactive to the Snuggie, they all have the same marketing strategy. First, they start with a problem. Are you tired of embarrassing acne? Want to keep warm without raising your heating bill? Blankets are okay, but they can slip and slide. Then they have these actors come on the screen and exaggerate how people are struggling with these problems. Now, the infomercial people are hoping that as viewers, we can identify with this problem. They're hoping that we're sitting home like, yeah, I am embarrassed by my acne. Yeah, I do want to keep warm without having my blanket slip and slide. So now the infomercial has adequately described the problem, right? And hopefully they have captured the viewer's attention. Then they go on to provide the solution to the problem. Here's this revolutionary product that will make this problem just disappear. Introducing the Snuggie. Then they will show the product and they'll show how the product works. They will provide examples of how this product will solve all of your problems. They will even feature real live people, sometimes celebrities, who will tell us how this product has changed their lives. Now, at this point in the infomercial, I'm usually sitting on the couch like, I need this product in my life. I don't know how I managed all these years with just blankets. Because what I really need is that Snuggie. So once the infomercial people have gotten viewers to a point where they believe that they need the product they're selling, that's when they tell you how much it's going to cost. This product can be yours for only $19.95. And then they start flashing on the screen. So at this point, I'm reaching for my phone and my credit card because I need to take advantage of this deal. This is a great product for a great price. It can't possibly get any better than this. But the moment I get ready to dial the 1-800 number, I hear the voice on the TV say, "But wait, there's more." There's more? Once I hear these words, I know something better is coming. I thought I was getting a good deal, but wait, there's more. Then the voice will come on and say, "Order in the next hour, and we will throw in this other product absolutely free." Wait. You mean to tell me that not only am I going to get the Snuggie for a great price, but you're going to throw in the magic slippers for free? Free is for me. This is the marketing strategy infomercials use to hook customers. They want us to believe that we are getting the best product for the best price. And once they have succeeded in doing that, that's when they come back and say, "But wait, there's more. You thought you were getting a good deal before, but wait, there's more. We know that you weren't expecting anything else, but wait, there's more. I know that you thought this was it, but wait, there's more." As I look at our text this morning, I get the sense that Jesus is using this infomercial strategy to hook his followers. Every time we turn around in this text, it seems like Jesus is saying, "But wait, there's more." The text opens with Mary Magdalene heading to the tomb on the first day of the week while it was still dark. As I explained to those who came to the sunrise service, dark not only described the time of day as Mary headed out before sunrise, but dark also described Mary's mood. This was a dark time for Mary. Just a few days earlier, Mary stood at the foot of the cross and watched her friend, her teacher, her mentor, her deliverer, Jesus, be crucified. Mary and Jesus were very close. Not only did Jesus deliver her from 7 demons, but at a time when women were limited in the roles they could play, Jesus elevated Mary and placed her on the same level as his male disciples. For 3 years, Mary walked with Jesus. She talked with Jesus. She laughed with Jesus. She ministered alongside of Jesus. For 3 years, she watched Jesus heal the sick and still the storm, give sight to the blind, walk on water, and raise the dead. For 3 years, she believed Jesus. She believed that he was the Messiah, that he was the Savior of the world, that he would redeem Israel. But now, Jesus is dead. I can only imagine how Mary must be feeling. She must feel angry. She must feel afraid. She must feel alone. She must feel abandoned. She must be overcome with grief. And even though I'm sure that with everything going on, it would have been easier to stay at home. It would have been easier to stay in the bed. The text says that Mary made her way to Jesus. When Mary arrives at the tomb, she expects Jesus to be there. She expects to see Jesus. She expects to touch Jesus. She expects to be able to share some final words with Jesus. But instead, what she finds is that the stone to the tomb has been removed and Jesus is not there. I know it's Easter, but I wonder how many people in the sanctuary have pressed their way out to church today when it would have been easier to stay home. It would have been easier to stay in the bed, but you came because you expect to see Jesus. Like Mary, when we find ourselves in the tombs of life, we expect Jesus to be there. When we are going through our deepest, darkest times, we expect to see him. When life leaves us angry, afraid, abandoned, alone, and overcome with grief, we expect to feel Jesus. When all hell breaks loose in our lives, in our homes, in our marriages, on our jobs, we expect to hear from Jesus. When we need Jesus, we expect Jesus to show up. We have this expectation that Jesus will be where we need him to be at the time we need him to be there, doing what we need him to do. I know that I am not the only one in church who has expectations of Jesus. Y'all leaving me hanging. I know that I'm not the only one bold enough to go to Jesus and tell him, Jesus, I expected you to be there. When I was going through the most difficult time of my life, I looked for you and you weren't there. I know I can't be the only one in here honest enough to say that when you were down and out, you were looking for Jesus, but you couldn't feel him. You couldn't touch him. You couldn't hear him. We look cute, but let's not act cute. We got to be real up in here. We all have expectations of Jesus, don't we? But what we discover in this text is that what we can expect all we want. But Jesus is not confined to our expectations. Mary shows up to the tomb expecting to find Jesus. But the only thing she finds is that Jesus is not there. She runs, tells Peter and the disciple whom Jesus loved. They follow her back to the place where Jesus was buried, inspect the tomb, determine that Mary was telling the truth, and they leave. Peter and John show up at the tomb expecting to see Jesus too. But when their expectations are not met, they leave. Sometimes the disappointment and hurt that we feel when Jesus isn't where we need him to be can cause us to walk away from Jesus altogether. You don't know how many times I hear people say, Pastor, I want to come back to church, but me and Jesus have to work out our issues first. He wasn't there when my father died. He wasn't there when I got into my accident. He wasn't there when I lost my job. Now I get it. I really do. I understand that you have an expectation of Jesus, but Jesus is in no way obligated to operate within humanity's expectations. That's the first thing. But the second thing is, if you really want to get real about it, we are not the only ones with expectations. God has some expectations of us. And every day we fail him. Every day we fall short of what God is calling us to do. Every day we disappoint him. But you know what? I'm so glad today that God doesn't treat us the same way we treat him. I am so glad that when I don't meet God's expectation, God doesn't turn around and walk out on me. I'm so glad that when I fall short of his glory, when I get caught up in some mess, I am so glad that God doesn't turn his back on me. I'm glad that God doesn't treat me the same way I treat him. The truth of the matter is, Karen, I mess up every day. But when God looks at me, he doesn't see my mess. When God looks at me, he sees my more. He sees my more. When God looks at me, he says, but wait, there's more. I know you messed up, but wait, there's more. I know you're lying, but wait, there's more. I know you're failing, but wait, there's more. God doesn't see our mess when he looks at us. He sees our more. He sees that there's more purpose, more potential. And if you get in his presence and pray, he will give you more power. God doesn't leave us when we don't meet his expectations. Because when he looks at us, he doesn't see our mess, he sees our more. So in the text, the brothers leave. The brothers leave. But Mary, she stays. Mary had some expectations. See, it would have been easy for her to say, look, Jesus wasn't here. I'm out. But she stays because she knows there's got to be more to this story. I told you that Mary and Jesus were close, right? See, when you have a relationship with someone, you know them. If my husband didn't come home because we have a relationship, my mind's not automatically going to jump to, well, he left me. No, I need to know what's going on, what's happening. I'm not going to run off and sign the divorce papers. I'm going to stay at home and wait for my husband because I have a relationship with him and I know that he would never leave me nor forsake me. When you have a relationship with Jesus, then you should already know that during your deepest, darkest times, Jesus didn't leave you. So you don't have to walk out on him. We should be like Mary. We should set up shop and say, Jesus, I'm expecting you to come. And I ain't moving until you get here. If you have a relationship with him and you know that he may not come when you want him, but he's going to come and he's going to be right on time. I know you expect him right now. I know you expect him because the pain is raw right now. But Jesus is going to come when Jesus comes. And when he comes, it's going to be right on time. So, Mary is at the tomb. And if I can, I just want to paint this picture for you. Mary is left alone in a graveyard. Death is all around her. She is sitting in the place where they buried Jesus. Jesus is dead. His body is gone. Oh. Mary is in a graveyard. Death is all around her. She's sitting in the place where they buried Jesus. Jesus is dead. His body is gone. This picture does not look good. This picture does not look hopeful. There is nothing good about this situation. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's the end. But how many of you know that sometimes what looks like an ending is actually a beginning? Do I have any witnesses in the house today who can say, I thought this was an ending, but then God showed up and I realized that what I thought was ending was actually just beginning. As Mary sits at the tomb, weeping because she thinks the story is over, what she doesn't realize is that God has already begun a brand new chapter. Mary is sitting there weeping because she thinks the story is over. But God had already moved on to the next chapter. It's the same thing with us. Sometimes we think something has ended in our lives, and really, it's just God's way of saying, but wait, there's more. The relationship may have ended, but wait, there's more. The job may have ended, but wait, there's more. This season of your life may be over, but wait, there's more. In other words, there's more to come. And what's coming is going to be better than what you had before. I want to talk to somebody who is struggling because they're entering into a new phase in life. And they think that the best days are behind them. Let me remind you that we serve a God of new beginnings. So if you are stepping into a new season in your life, it's okay to grieve the old one, but don't stay at the tomb too long, because the best is yet to come. Walk into your season with power. Walk into your season like you own it. Don't stay at the tomb too long. Is there anyone in the house today who can say, I want what's coming? I want what's coming. I don't know what it is, but I want it because God's given it to me. And if God's given it to me, then it must be the best thing for me. Like Mary, many of us have also found ourselves in the graveyard of life. The graveyard is where we go to leave our hopes and our dreams when life tries to bury us. We all started this life thing with big hopes, big dreams, and big goals. But somewhere along the line, life happened, and we lost sight of what we wanted to do. Some of us experienced challenges and changes and setbacks, and our dreams just sort of got away from us. Others of us allowed fear and insecurity to get in the way. But here we are in this graveyard, about to give up on our dreams because we think it's over. Well, before you put a period at the end of that sentence, before you write the end on your story, I want you to be very careful, because what you think is ending just may be God's way of saying, but wait, there's more. God has this way of taking what appears to be an ending and turning it into a beginning. You don't have to take my word for it, but we can call on some witnesses. You see, Abraham and Sarah will tell you that they were too old. It looked like an ending, but wait, there's more. Sarah gives birth to Isaac at 90, and it's a new beginning. Joseph had a dream, but he's sold off into slavery, and it looks like an ending. But wait, there's more. He gets the opportunity to interpret the dream of Pharaoh and becomes the governor of Egypt. And that's a new beginning. Jesus on the cross Friday, for those of y'all who came just for this, on the cross Friday, in a tomb Saturday, it looks like an ending. But wait, there's more. Early on Sunday morning, he got up with all power in his hand. And guess what? It's a new beginning. Not just for him, but for each and every one of you. It's our new beginning. We have the power to start again because Jesus gave us a new beginning. That is the purpose of Resurrection Sunday. That's the meaning of this day. I like getting dressed up too, but that is why we're here, because Jesus gave us a new beginning. For Black people living in America, the resurrection story takes on a whole new meaning. Like Jesus, we know what it's like to be crucified and buried. From the moment we stepped onto slave ships, they've been trying to bury us. From the Middle Passage to slavery to Jim Crow to disrespecting us, humiliating us, to the ways that they are still trying to bury us today, poisoning our communities, the new Jim Crow. And when those things don't work, they find ways to justify killing us in the street. But check this out, y'all. This is the power of resurrection. Because all of their attempts to bury us have failed. They have failed. Every time they try to bury us, like Jesus, we rise. I don't know when they're going to realize that burying us won't work. It won't work. You know why? Because we're seeds. Burying us won't work because we're seeds. And what happens to seeds when they're buried? They sprout, they rise up past the dirt, and they take on a whole new life. I no longer get upset when people try to bury me because I realize that people don't have the final say. People will try to tell us that it's over. They will try to tell us that we're done. People will try to tell us that it's the end. But really, that's just God's way of saying, but wait, there's more. And what you thought, what you intended to be my end is really just my beginning. So thank you. Thank you. Because God says to me, but wait, there's more. God bless you.